Now on to our agenda about the EDM Council. It has been a super fun and busy time. Like all companies a year and a half ago, we were worried about the impact of the pandemic. And of course, it's been a challenging time for all of us, but the silver lining has been data has only become more important. You'll see that reflected in all the agendas of the EDM Council. So a little bit about the mission of the Council. If you hadn't had that shared for any of our new audience members, it's to elevate the practice of data and analytics, management, and support the role of the data professional. Also, very importantly, that we have a key principle that we start out with, that we believe in a responsible data-driven organization and establishing data literacy for all. And that's a heady and big mission for all companies. And you'll see the Council believes that our mission is not just to help the data and analytics team, but ultimately to help them support data literacy in their organization, and to do that in a responsible way. We've been operating for 16 years, it's worldwide, and our special sauce is the ability to bring together companies in a neutral, nonprofit forum where we can collaborate and do what's right for industry without reflecting any specific commercial agenda. These are some of the companies that have joined us now in the last 18 months. It's been a record-setting time. The Council's membership has grown 50%. And you'll see on the left logos from companies inside of the financial markets, organizations like Barclays, Credit Suisse, Agricultural Bank of China, the SEC, the Federal Reserve System, some really outstanding both regulators, large financial organizations have joined into our heritage of being in the foundation of the financial markets. Then in the middle of the page, you'll see some really welcome, interesting additions. The very large digital companies, the cloud leaders, like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and companies like Snowflake, Elation, and others that are on that forefront of cloud adoption and digital transformation. And then on the far right, you'll see a variety of new industries and new leaders joining the Council because they face similar challenges: data privacy, doing good with data, but doing it in a responsible way. So recent additions being Johnson & Johnson, largest pharmaceutical company in the world, joined a few weeks ago. AstraZeneca has also been a Council member. Michelin, the largest manufacturer in the world. Nestle just came on board this week. So we're really excited on these new additions. Coca-Cola, Verizon, just companies and industries all looking for data management best practice and now interested in getting the advantages of being involved with the Council. So one of the areas that you have heard about us before, and for our new audience members, is Dcam. It stands for the Data Management Capability Assessment Model. And it's been in the market now for 6 years, since 2015. And 62% of members worldwide are using Dcam. And on the right side, you'll see the eight components of Dcam. The latest addition being the analytics component, which we did measure about 2 years ago, that the CDO, 52% of the time worldwide, owns both the data supply chain and analytics. So we formed a work group of cross-industry companies, and we actually added in these 7 capabilities. So now you can scorecard in Dcam your analytic function, you can scorecard your data supply function, or you can scorecard both the data supply and the analytics. So all members are entitled to use Dcam internally. Just visit the EDM Council website and you can download the latest version that does both of these capabilities. Now what I'd like to do is invite one of our partners, which is Nino from Fit Academy, to share a very welcome update about the availability of Dcam in other languages. Nino, over to you. A little bit about your firm and what did you actually contribute back to the Council?
Thank you, Mike, to give me the opportunity to spend a few words on both Fit and on our collaboration with the EDM Council. Starting on Fit, while we are a relatively new firm, since the beginning we set quite clearly our mission toward good data, and in our brand and name sits our commitment and kind of promise on what we do and how we do it. So what we do is helping clients to have data which is fit for their purposes, and how we do it is via 3 main enablers, which are training, data management, culture, and technology support, which in Italian stands as formazione, informazione, tecnologia, as Fit. So today we have undertaken almost 100 between assessment, training, and consulting initiatives from our consulting hub in Italy, and our international training center in London with operation in Europe, Russia, and Latin America. So if you can move, this was a very quick overview. So if you can move to the next slide. However, before you run, what you need is to walk, and obviously before you being able to teach and help others, you need to learn. And this was one of the original reasons why we decided to join the Data Association Management and the EDM Council, and it was to learn and now be able to help others to learn it too. So we decided to take an active role and to get our hands, let's say, dirty and undertake the not so easy task of translation of the data management body of knowledge. And we are quite delighted to be here today for the launch of the Italian and Spanish Dcam translation. So on this, if there is one lesson I would like to share, is that the beauty and the relevance of international frameworks is that they are international, they are scalable, they are transferable, and they are comparable. So this is why we decided to preserve certain terminology so that it could be transversely understood, and taxonomy. And feel EDM members today have two great new tools for their local markets, but also for their local operation, which can now undertake the assessment in their local and day-to-day language, and the result can be aggregated and benchmarked at global level. So on the next slide, and I just finish with thanking those that were more involved and therefore deserve more of the credit, which are our colleague Federico, Marilu, and Christian and Ramon from our Mexican office. As you can see from the slide, translation are now available for members on the user library. And for those that both, I should say, the framework and the scoring spreadsheets, and for those that wish to know more about the Italian and Spanish assessment opportunities for training, or just wish to chat more about the complexity of a translation, professional translation on this, our contacts are in there.
Awesome. And Nino, thank you to Fit Academy and to your leadership in pursuing. It's hundreds of man hours to do these translations well. I know your team has had experience of doing other translations of major data management documents. So we're grateful for this contribution back to the EDM Council, which means to all members, all partners, these translated versions for both Italian and Spanish are now available for all members worldwide. One other note, if any partner on the line or company would like to pursue other languages, we are in discussion with several about languages like French, which are needed in certain markets, certainly Portuguese, etc. So please approach us. We welcome the contributions. We provide attribution to those companies that provide this as an asset to the council. And again, Nino, on behalf of the council, thank you for this good work. We'll be sending out these slides so people can easily access this materials going forward. So what else about the council is happening? Let me move on to the additional topics. Thank you, Nino, again. Here's some classes that are coming up. These are highly subscribed, so you'll see we have classes in the various time zones of UK, EMEA, and India. In fact, I believe in the next 2 days, we're going to be having that class. The Americas will be supporting the 21st and 22nd, and then the APAC region will be delivered on the 18th and 19th of October. Just visit the EDM Council website. At the top, you'll see a menu bar saying training. You can register your team, or if you want a class dedicated to your company, just give us a call and we can talk about that. Either the council or any of our partners for Dcam can deliver that class to you locally for just your company. We also have a wonderful class on data ethics and responsible AI. And this class now is available either as a e-learning course in the next week, or it can be done as a dedicated class. Now on to CDMC. We were blessed to have the major cloud companies and hundreds of companies all together come together to help this be built. A few more details. So to just let every one of our companies on this call, both members and non-members, it is a free license. It's a public service by the council with all these contributions. Any company that can visit the council website, we only ask that you register so we can keep you updated on any enhancements, because we do plan for enhancements over time. You can download the entire framework, the scoring guide, and through the month of this October, we're releasing additional digital tools. It's also received tremendous press. These are just some of the headlines. It's reached thousands of readers, and we've now crossed the threshold of over 1,000 downloads of CDMC just in the last few business days since our launch on the 28th of September. We've also been briefing all the global regulators. We're tracking that. Many are part of the EDM Council membership, like the SEC, the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, the FCA, and we have great relations with the ECB, ESMA, and other organizations throughout Europe, Asia, and the Americas. We are planning a regulatory update. We've already done several individual briefings and deep dive sessions with these organizations, but we're inviting all regulators to the 14th of, it's actually next week's session. So if you have any regulators, please reach out to us. We can pass the link on to you, and you can pass this on. It's an update to all regulators on now the published works from CDMC. The next question you may have is, how does CDMC get used? And you've heard in the panel a discussion about assessments and certification. So two options for companies. If you're a cloud service provider or technology provider in the cloud, the 14 controls that evidence protecting sensitive data is one of the things that can be both assessed and certified. And we're going to, in fact, announce what was announced about a week ago by one of our partners and main technology firms. They actually went ahead and did this assessment. So all companies, if you're familiar with SOC 2 assessments or ISO assessments, now there's an opportunity to certify a technology solution against the 14 key controls. The second is for all companies that are able to now just download CDMC. You can do your own assessment, or if you can hire in or bring in one of the third-party CDMC partners and conduct a authorized assessment or readiness assessment for your organization, depending on what scope you want to have assessed, or you can do a certification assessment, which that partner would independently score that the full framework is evidenced inside of your organization, and then we'll issue, with the council's support, a digital badge that's valid for 12 months. So two types of certifications: technology solutions and marketplace against the 14 controls, and the full framework, including the 14 controls for end organizations. And again, to repeat, these are optional. You can just download the framework and self-assess. That's perfectly good as well. Our greatest interest is to see these materials used after the thousands of man-hours involved. And that's exactly what did happen as we were launching the materials. Snowflake, a well-known data management platform that operates across all the cloud platforms, hired in KPMG to do the first assessment against the 14 controls. And at a major product announcement on the 14th of September, announced that they achieved a positive assessment from KPMG, and KPMG being one of the authorized partners. This reverberated across the industry as, wow, this is now a framework that we can assess and validate our solutions against. And then not only that, Snowflake published all of their materials to be available out to all of their clients in the marketplace as open source. So you can now do these tests for yourself if you wish. And these are all the partners that are now available. Some exciting companies, more being added in day by day. So you have lots of options in the market if you want to do either assessments for your company or for your technical solutions. Finally, I want to give a couple of shout outs. There's a tool available with one of our partners, Solidatus, that has all of the mappings. This will be released in the month of October. So we're going to have a full digital map from CDMC to Dcam, complements of Solidatus. There's a survey platform from Element 22 called Polistro. That's available. And also, thanks to the work of a group around the information model, and this has been backed and supported by Data.World, a public benefit corporation, we're building a information meta model that'll be released this month going into November and beyond, so that you can actually look at your data enterprise architecture and have a common vocabulary across the major standards, not only against CDMC, but other ISO and other standards in the marketplace, to allow you to bring your architectural worlds together and unify that across CDMC and the other standards you're responsible for. And this will be brought out between releases in November, January, and into the early part of next year. So there's a continuing journey on CDMC to come, including open classes. If you want to register for any of these, visit the council website, and you can simply register for open classes that are quickly subscribed along the way and available for all members and non-members to take. So feel free to download and get involved. We're going to continue the governance and updates to CDMC going forward. And this concludes my first part of the update. So we're now going to offer 2 sessions for you to attend. So you have your choice. Option 1 is a session sponsored and advocated by Ernst & Young on data sharing in a post-pandemic world. And option 2 is for you to go to the Atacama session on building out a data quality program. Just use your agenda tab and you can link to that and join these sessions right now. Thank you very much. Welcome, everyone. This is Mike Meriton with the EDM Council, and we hope you've had a productive day. We've just concluded the recent panels, and we'd like to start with a really exciting update from the Women Data Professionals Forum. So let me, with no further ado, introduce Liesl McCord with Morgan Stanley and Martha Beath with Fitch Solutions that are both members of the team to give us that update.
Thanks, Mike. Good afternoon, everybody. Really excited to be here. I had the opportunity and privilege to talk to you all last year as well. And at that point in time, it was an introduction of this forum. So between Martha and I, we're going to give you some quite a few exciting updates in terms of progress and next steps that's coming. I think firstly, just the women data professionals. I mean, it's there to support women in data, to provide a support network and to help with questions that might exist around career and the like. It's truly global, as can be seen from the slide, with chapters in EMEA, which is ourselves, Asia, Americas, and then a strong global team to support us. Mike, if you can skip on. Next slide. Thank you. So again, we've got about 650 members globally in this forum, with about 25%, I want to say, across EMEA. In terms of the first key update for me is we had a launch event earlier this year, which was fantastic. We had about 60 people participating. And what came out of that was a confirmation, if you wish, specific to what people want to hear about. And that was really the sense for connecting, the ability to discuss real data topics, and then just to network. And again, it came through very strongly. We had a nice survey. So for me, that was a wonderful launch event that we could have. On top of which, our members are starting to be recognized. There's a notion of the member spotlight. I want to say congratulations to Araminta, who was called out on the website. These are up-and-coming leaders in the data space. So congrats, Araminta. Very pleased to see you in that spotlight. And then also very significantly, Martha, welcome. Martha's joined the core team, and I'm going to hand over to Martha to take you through some of the other key updates that we'd like to share with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Liesl. And I'm very excited to be part of such an exciting team. There's a lot of amazing events, both on for the future, so something I'll go through in a minute, but we also had another really great event this June with Martin Skanka, who's the UNPRI chair, in an ESG focused webinar around reporting and regulation, which was excellent. Beata Born, our fellow chair, led the discussion, and we had a lot of great feedback and had about 60 participants for that one as well. I'd also mention on the spotlights that we've had a lot of interest in highlighting some of our key members. So look forward to a lot of amazing women being highlighted, but also some rising stars in the future. We are very, very excited about that initiative. I'd also mention that you can learn more about the Women Data Professionals through the website, edmcouncil.org, and then click on groups, and you can find everything there. Next slide, please. Thank you. In terms of upcoming activities, we're extremely excited about our global summit, but I would also mention our American colleagues are having a virtual happy hour on the 18th from 6 to 7:30 Eastern time. I would genuinely recommend everybody join because it's been wonderful to meet all of the different members across the different regions. We've had an excellent response, particularly around the spotlight, but also the various events that we've had, culminating with the Women Data Leaders Global Summit in November. We have had a fantastic response. We have a number of great speakers, and we've had more than 1,000 registrants sign up. So it's going to be a flagship event to remember, and certainly something that we're very, very proud of within Women Data Professionals. And I
Awesome.
think that's it for us.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you, Liesl. This should be a watershed event for women data leaders. We're expecting upwards of 1,000 registrants and 100 speakers. So please visit the EDM Council website and you too can register. And this is for both men and women. And we're very excited to help present this globally. There also will be a APAC version, an APAC friendly time zone version on the 16th, which will then offer additional follow-up opportunities that are appropriate to the time zone in the APAC region. So thank you both of you for joining us. John, go ahead. You have a comment?
One comment first.
Yeah.
Thank Liesl and Martha. But a mentor of mine once said, when you're climbing the mountain, every once in a while it's nice to turn around and look and see how far you've come. We started this activity with like 2 people, and today you've got 650. You're global. It's a great accomplishment, and we're so proud to be supporting this and continue the good work. And I want to see that number hit 1,000 when we hit next year. So again, congratulations, and again, this summit coming up. I think there's 1,000 registered now, but we anticipate a lot more by then. So please join that event in November. So thank you both.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, John, and thank you both. Okay, on to some other updates with the council. On the knowledge graph side of the organization, many may recognize things like FIBO, but we've also launched an automotive ontology. We're in discussion with the life science industry for additional ontologies that are open source for the industry. And the council provides both training programs and a shared lab. In fact, the shared lab has had a lot of interest recently, where the council's the neutral forum, brings together graph technology makers, commercial marketplaces, system integrators, and enterprise customers. Our very first lab activity was for fraud and anti-money laundering, and it validated that there can be 30 to 40% savings by leveraging shared resources in bringing together graph-based technologies. If you'd like to learn more about this or be a sponsor for the lab, please let us know. You'll see the link down below. We also have an updated training course that's now available as full e-learning by one of the world's experts, Dean Alamang, who's with Data.World, but also a special advisor to the EDM Council. It's an outstanding course. So if you'd like to be trained and certified in Knowledge Graph, you have both this e-learning course, as well as we can deliver this as a live course dedicated to your company. Another area that's been very exciting, we've had a panel today that was led by Palantir, is around ESG data. Some really staggering statistics that $1 out of $3 worldwide by 2025 will have an investment tag related to ESG, or environmental, social, or governance data. This very large work group has been operating, soon to be publishing its first guidance and white papers over the next few weeks. This is an active group. If you'd like to learn more, please send a message over to Eric Bigelson or visit the EDM Council website. This group is accepting more volunteers and participants, looking at all the best practices around ESG reporting and the data supply chain around ESG. Another group that's been active and started a little more recently is for data ROI, or return on investment. This is to support the chief data officer and their programs with identifying the use cases and best practices around data program ROI, data project ROI, and the possibility of looking at data as a balance sheet item. The approach that we're taking is we're actually conducting this fall a series of CDO interviews, where CDOs are sharing anonymously how they've gone about the business of building out the ROI templates for their organization and their projects. And we're using this to gather that raw data, then to build a playbook that'll be available back as a deliverable to all the CDOs and all the data and analytic teams in the marketplace. So if you'd like to be involved in this, again, just visit the council website, and either direct on the site or on EDM Connect, you can join this particular activity. Lots going on with e-learning with the council. Now Dcam is an e-learning course. We also are available, as you'll see on this slide, 50 courses available for e-learning training and certification. The ones in orange, like the data ethics and responsible AI, enterprise knowledge graph, coming onto the platform as well. This is very exciting. In our mission statement, we shared earlier that our objective is, we believe in a responsible organization and data literacy for all. But we would get the question, do you have a data literacy course? And the answer is yes. There is now a course coming out this month for data literacy, available on the eLearning Curve platform. You'll see the curricula on the right, and it's available for all of your colleagues in business not the data practitioners, but the broader teams that are looking at the opportunity to learn about data and to become literate and to drive data literacy as part of the overall fabric of the organization. So you can actually visit the council website, download the book of knowledge, the very detailed curricula, and explore if this is useful for your organization. Also, EDM Connect has recently been updated. This is the platform that all members can access and also guests. It's visible off of edmcouncil.org. Just go to our homepage. At the very top, you'll say register. If you're a member, just use your corporate email and you'll get full access to all the documents. And as well as a guest, you can explore as well. And it lets you connect with other members, download the materials as applicable to you, and then connect into all of our work groups. So it's essentially your online full resource capability. So that concludes all the updates. John, over to you.
Mike, I'll make it short and sweet. First, a big thank you again to our sponsors. They're all listed here. Atacama, Big ID, Data Dynamics, EY, Orteca, Palantir, since I pronounced it wrong this morning, I got it right this time, Solidaris, OneTrust, and Contexa. Not only just a sponsorship, but it's such a pleasure working with all of the employees from that group. You know, in preparing the work and preparing the slides and preparing the panels. Thank you all for that. And what I really enjoyed in today's session, and in particular I saw in one of my sessions, was the audience was communicating amongst themselves. They were chatting, they were discussing, they were throwing ideas up and communicating, you know, responding to each other. It was like a giant 100-person panel discussion instead of one. So I hope everybody got a lot of value out of this. It was a lot of fun to do. And we'll be doing it again for the Americas in, Mike, I think the time frame is December. Yep, there it is. So if you straddle both time zones, please join us again in December. We'll have different speakers and similar topics, but it'll be, again, great to have our partners joining us discussing these very interesting topics. So with that, Mike, unless you have any other closing remarks, I want to thank everybody again for attending, the sponsors, the panelists, and of course the attendees for joining. Have a great day, and we'll see you in December.
Take care. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye now.